Most bizarre and strange events can be put to bed with a multitude of evidence, but these ones can't. So come with me today as we explore the world's strangest unsolved mysteries. Starting off with one of the world's most infamous mysteries, the strange and unsolved case of D.B. Cooper. On November 24th, 1971, at Portland International Airport, a man by the name of Dan Cooper boards flight 305 heading to Seattle, wearing a dark suit and tie combination and carrying a briefcase. Any guesses to what's in that briefcase yet? He sits on the last row of the plane in seat 18E. Mid-flight, Cooper hands flight attendant Florence Schaffner a note that reads, "I have a bomb and I would like you to sit next to me." How do you react to that, really? So obviously she complies and takes a seat next to him. As she sits next to him, Cooper opens his briefcase and reveals a makeshift bomb. Cooper then demands 4 parachutes and a ransom of $200,000 when the plane lands. Really low amount to ask for a plane hijacking. The flight was only intended to last around an hour, so they had to fly around in a circle so they had enough time to get the money. But during this time, investigators were noting down all of the serial numbers on the bills. Once the plane landed, a different flight attendant is sent out to collect the money. Cooper then allows the passengers and the 2 flight attendants that he'd interacted with to leave the plane. He then demands that the plane takes off once again and heads for Mexico City. But he has more demands. Of course he does. Why wouldn't you? Going on to instruct the pilots of flying with the wing flaps down, which is something that's usually only done during takeoff, as it would slow the plane down dramatically if it was actually in air to around 200 miles an hour. Now, why would he want to do that? Now, around 20 minutes into the flight, they realise that Cooper has opened the rear air stair. The rear air stair. Oh my god. That one's a bit of a tongue twister. The rear air stair. There you go. Then, you guessed it, he jumps out with the parachute on, obviously, and I would assume so anyway. He is never seen again. From the Air Force loaning authorities, an AR-71 Blackbird plane, an SR-71, to photograph the possible landing area, the military deploying over 200 soldiers into the woods to look for Cooper, to a privately owned submarine, searching Lake Merwin to look for clues. They still found nothing. Many questions surround this mystery. Did he die when jumping out of the plane? Or perhaps he succumbed to the elements in the coming days after he landed in the woods? Did he get away and enjoy his money? And why, if pulling off such a detailed and intricate crime, would he only ask for $200,000 and not, millions, maybe? Looks like we will never know. We've talked about the sky, now let's talk about the sea. The mysterious story of the SS Orang Medan. Certainly did not say that right. There are a few different versions of this tale, but this is the version that I've seen more regularly, so we'll go with this one. The Medan was traveling through the Straits of Malacca. Malassa? I don't know. With the timing of this estimated to be around the 1940s. But then a boat nearby picked up the bone-chilling message from the Medan that went like this. "We float. All officers, including captain, dead. In chart room and on the bridge. Probably whole of crew dead. I die." An American vessel by the name of the Silver Star went to investigate. Finding the ship, the crew boarded. What lay before them was a gruesome discovery. The entire crew lay dead, teeth bared, with their faces upturned towards the sun, staring as if they were in fear, with even the ship's dog dying mid-snarl. But weirdly, none of the bodies showed any signs of physical injury. But there's somehow more to this. As the crew of the Silver Star began to tow the boat away, smoke began to bellow from the towed vessel. The rescuers then cutting the tire and fleeing to safety, shortly after with the SS Medan exploding, sinking to the bottom of the sea, never to be seen again. People claim that the SS Medan was a smuggling ship carrying potassium cyanide and nitroglycerin, which may have actually been the cause of not only the explosion, but the gruesome fate of the crew. But to add another spanner into the works, there is actually no record of this ship existing. Weird story or strange mystery? I'm gonna go with weird story on that one. Now let's go back to the world of crime with the mystery of the Zodiac Killer. Now the Zodiac Killer is probably one that you've heard of before, if you've seen him in documentaries or movies, but in case you haven't, going by the previously mentioned names and supposedly wearing an outfit like this, whilst he performed his execution-style murders, having killed 5 victims in the San Francisco Bay Area between December 1968 and October 1969. But But somehow this case gets even more mysterious. Quite a while after the discovery of his first victims, which were a teenage couple found near their car, the police received a phone call from a man with a very low and monotone voice, describing to the police a location that 2 more bodies can be found, stating that the victims have been shot with a 9mm Luger. What the hell is a Luger? Then he ends the phone call by saying, "I also killed those 2 kids last year." This is a really good opportunity to clip me saying some like mad Going to the described location, the police discover another young couple in a car, both suffering multiple gunshot injuries. One victim eventually passing away later on in hospital, but one survived. Michael Maggio. Around a month after this attack, the killer sent a cryptic message to the press, demanding that the strange cryptic and coded message be printed in the following day's paper, or else he would kill again. The first message was revealed after the code was cracked, reading, "I like killing people because it is so much fun." Seems like a nice guy. But over 50 years later, the rest of the message was still unknown. Nobody could solve it. Until 2020. A team of cryptographers created a software with the intent of cracking the Zodiac Killer's code. And they succeeded. So the rest of the night goes as follows. I hope you are having lots of fun trying to catch me. That wasn't me on a TV show. Which brings up a point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise. All the sooner because I now have enough slaves to work for me, where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise. So they are afraid of death. I am not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in paradise. From this code, they then later on decipher what they believe to be the name of the Zodiac Killer. From the previous code that was cracked and multiple witness testimonies on what the Zodiac Killer looked like, the police believe they had a suspect under the name of Lawrence K, an ex-convict that shares a striking resemblance to the Zodiac Killer, being around the same height, the same weight, and the man who we mentioned previously that survived the attack of the Zodiac Killer, saying that this was the guy that attacked him. But ultimately, they didn't have enough evidence on this guy, so he was never prosecuted. I believe he died in around 2010. So if that was him, you're never going to find out, I'm afraid. Now let's finish this video off with perhaps one of the strangest stories of the bunch. The severed foot beach of British Columbia. Yep, I said severed foot. Since August 2007, reportedly around 20 detached feet have washed up ashore on the coasts of Salish Beach in British Columbia. The feet typically being found in shoes, which is likely what kept them buoyant. Authorities claim that foul play is not a factor, as DNA has not linked any of these feet to people that are involved in tragic incidences. The only real credible theory is the one produced by Dr. Karan Raj, TikTok guy, who claims it's actually because of the footwear industry. When a human corpse sinks to the bottom of the ocean, it quickly gets set upon by scavengers. Basically going on to say that scavengers are lazy, and that because it takes some effort to get through the shoes to the feet, they just don't bother, eating the rest of the body and leaving the feet to float away, ultimately leaving them to float away and land on these beaches. But that still doesn't explain why there are so many, and why they are all within this one small area. Is it the current, or is something else afoot here? But that brings us to the end of the video, so I want you to let me know in the comment section down below, which famous unsolved mystery do you think will be solved next? Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster? I mean, I doubt it. As always, thank you so much for watching. I've been harrisonay, and I will see you when I see you.